folks, here we are. We're back. We're on the floor of Central Minex 2023, and I am here with another very interesting prospector. His name is Allan Keats. And without further ado, Allan, could you introduce yourself?
Well, my name is Allan Keats from Benton, and I've been prospecting ever since '69. And I went to work with my dad. Actually, he routed me to go work there. And anyway, the end results, I was with them in Noranda for 28 years.
Yep.
I was field foreman for 26, only at grade 8.
Yeah.
Anyway, the end result is, with this newfound goal, this is what created all this, I guess. And then I wouldn't work with Noranda then.
No.
Well, we did find some of the stuff. Like my brother found the highest grade boulder was found, but they were getting out. They had a couple of years looking for gold. He said, no, we had enough of that. So anyway, he left when Noranda left, and I stayed around, and that was one of the things I kept in my mind.
So you retired from Noranda, did you?
No? Well, he left in late 80s, and I went more or less on my own working for other people, right? But I also knew about this boulder my brother had found, and this is the end results right here now.
So the boulder your brother found would have been what, in the 80s or 70s?
It would have been in the 80s, yeah.
And you couldn't get it out of your head?
No,
you knew it was there?
Oh, yeah.
And did you often go back to look at it?
Oh, yeah, I went back and found what we found now,
yeah.
Right? And we got other companies interested, and they did some drilling and really, I guess, ran out of money and stuff like that. And I don't know how many, I think it's the 5th company that we've optioned this off to. And the end result is this.
It's fascinating, and I don't know much about your industry. I spent 35 years in the advertising business. I know a little about a lot of industries, but this one I don't know a lot about. How would a company like Newfound, they just decided this is it? Like, why them and not someone else?
Well, I guess it was so much. Well, really, I guess one of the biggest gold mines in the world right now is in Australia, which is identical, the same age of rocks and everything. And I guess they were looking around, where can we find something like this? And this probably jumped right at them.
Yeah.
Holy shit, Well,
how does it, sorry for interrupting you, it jumped out at them? Are you like posting, how do you even match up companies?
Well, what I mean by that, like you can go to the government and know that we had gold there over the years, and what we had, the companies we had an option out to, what they drilled some holes, but it wasn't, good enough for them. But I guess this company looked at where in the world would you find something like this, and I guess they looked at this, and lo and behold, the last company, the company before those, had drilled a hole, and they ended up collaring. Well, they drilled a little bit, and then they struck the quartz zone with visible gold, and then they had all lost core where the rocks was all fractured, and it ended up then at the end when they went to the sediments, they had gold again in it. So in between that, those guys must have said, now what's in between there, which they did.
Yeah.
That's what they said. And they optioned the ground, and the rest is history. And they went to the drilling companies in Springdale and said, have you got a drill? Yep. And I want the best drillers you got, and I want no lost core. And this is the end results.
Did you go out when the drilling was happening, or no?
No, actually, I think they give me the coordinates, everything, to go and spot the hole.
Right.
Which I did, and I think it was off a bit because I got Stone Age equipment. But anyway, it ended up maybe one of the guys might have moved to pick it when they drilled. But anyway, it was the best hole, one of the best holes in Newfoundland.
And possibly the world, I'm hearing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Allan, what does it mean to you to be part of something so special to the province?
It means a lot.
Yeah.
It means like even right today, you know, like he, like I said, he got mad at me. Come on, let's go up there. And nah, I was always sort of shy, which I don't know good for this, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, he talked me into it, and this is not the only one I was instrumental in finding. I found the boulders. Well, I went to work in '69. In '70, I was silting a brook. Never had no rock hammer, only the bags, and I don't think we even had one of those small ones, because we was taking the sand and the brook, putting it in a bag and sending it to the lab. And I found this boulder because that spring we worked up by the old Garbridge mine, and Naranda had some couple claims there, and we used to visit the old mine, and I took some rocks from there. So anyway, in saying that, I went to work and walking the brook, taking silt, and I seen this cankery, rusty looking stuff.
Yeah.
And I picked it up and banged it together, and it turned out to be massive sulfite, the same as the one in Galbraith. And I said, gee, this is the weight of it. Never didn't know much about it then. So anyway, I brought it back to the boss. He said, where'd you get that to? And I said, in there in the brook. He said, God, he said, you brought that from the old mine. He said, and just as full of. I said, I found that in the brook. Well, he said, I got to go. You just had come from Gander, and we were in Lewis Lake then. Yeah. He said, I got to go back to Gander. And I said, what do you mean? He said, never mind. He said, you found that there, can you use a mortar? I said, it looks like the mortar, boy, but I said, I never had a hammer or nothing, right? And he said, well, he said, I'll go and see what the boss got to say. But back to Gander, sure enough, he said when he came back, I think that was, he came back on Monday morning. He said, you got to stay here. The chopper be here a little bubble at first whenever I had a ride in. The boss be here to pick you up. He said, can you land there where you found the boulders? I said, oh yeah, there's a little bog right there, and you just got to walk down over to the rise. And good enough. So anyway, around 10, 11 o'clock, he showed up, just a tree filler sitting in the front of her. And away we go, went in, and then he had the hammers and we found.
Yeah.
So that led to the point limiting deposit, and make the short story short. And I think the first drill hole was one anomaly there. That Brennix had the air barn. They had the ground option of Brennix. I think it was Brennix now. But anyway, the first drill hole went to 280 feet, and it was actually the biggest deposit of copper, lead, and zinc on his lower grade, still sitting there. And then in '75, I think it was '75, we got the ground up around Millertown, which was the same thing as the Balkans stuff. And I found the boulder that was pushed up by the road the price had put in there. And the end results of that one was the duck palm mine. And
You've got to, would you call it luck, or you work hard, obviously?
You work hard, and you got to have somebody guiding your steps too.
Yeah.
You got to know the words to say it.
But when you hear back on the most recent one, and they do the drill, and it's, I can't remember the numbers, but where do you remember where you were standing when the call came to you and said, here's the numbers? Do you remember that?
I don't know, because really, I know it was something good, because I ask and names I'm no good for, right? But I know I got it. And it's been good, and you got to believe. You got to believe.
Allan, this show is full of optimism, and I think to be a prospector, you need to be optimistic, I think, don't you?
Oh, definitely. Never give up.
No.
Dad always said that, never give up. And like I said, I only had a grade 8.
Wow.
I was field foreman, went around there for 26 years.
Were you a natural born leader? Is that why you ended up in that, do you think?
I don't know.
Hard worker.
Hard worker. I tried to be honest. I mean, you know, sometimes you slipped up and stuff like that. But in the end result, you try to do the best you can, right? And never give up. That's the thing, right?
If someone is, say, 20, 22, 23, 25, recent graduate, thinking about this industry, what advice would you give them, Allan, besides never give up, which is incredible advice?
It's like when you're coming back to the truck, and you know, you're tired, and usually when you see like a knob sticking up in the woods, over when you're looking for gold and stuff like that, that could be quartz because the ice never cut it down. Now, am I going to get to the truck half an hour earlier, and even though it might be after 5 o'clock, you say, well, I just got to go and check that. And when you get that feeling, go and do it. Because if you don't, you'll be sorry. Somebody else will find it. So never, that's the word, never give up. And it's not because you're going to be late or anything like that. And the feeling, like I said, I had a fella come in my garage here, the little house we built there, and doing me electricity, and he said, "You made my father a millionaire." What do you mean?
Is that right?
He said, "You was instrumental in finding a duck pond." I said, "Yeah, I found a boulder that led to it." Well, he said, "My father sold all the safety gear there, and you made my father a millionaire." And you know something? It made me feel something good. And you got to feel good, not only for yourself, for other people too, and I ought to look around.
Well, Allan, you know what? It's an absolute pleasure to be sitting in front of you and listen to that. I know Peter Dimmel was here a few moments before you, and he said that he's told that there may be finds in Newfoundland for the next 50 years. So the future is incredibly bright in the mining industry.
I can tell you, if I don't die and don't get really sick, you're going to hear more from me.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
You're not giving up.
Oh, no.
How many years have you been in the industry?
And I'm a type of guy, say, from 69.
Yeah.
I'm a type of guy, I don't want everything. I just want part of the pie.
Yeah.
And I want credit for what I just told you. And that credit comes from somebody else when he said, "You made my father a millionaire."
Yeah. When you go to sleep at night, you rest easy on the pillow.
You do.
You do, yeah.
You do.
Well,
And that's not saying I'm perfect. Oh, no, nobody is perfect. Only one nailed you to the cross.
well, look, I'm excited to be here. I mean, we're sitting probably on a gold deposit right now, right? And the eyeballs are on Newfoundland because of you and Peter and the others like you.
That's another thing I got to mention too. Like Peter Dimmel, he was with me pretty well right to the end, from the start to the end.
Yeah.
And not only Peter Dimmel, Norm Mercer, and Wayne Reed, and that's the geologist. They taught me more about, and I was always asking questions. Sometimes might have been a bit stupid, but they said, "Look, this is what you got to look for, and this way." And I had the instinct anyway, and the wood part of it, like being a Micmac, I suppose, right? And it all came together.
Let me ask you this, Allan. When you're out for a walk, do you ever have a normal walk? Have you ever noticed the sky, or is it always eyes down on the rocks?
You know something? It's funny you mentioned that. My dream would be to land on the moon.
Is that right?
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I believe so much. And I believe in the Creator and everything else too. But there's something missing. But I can't tell you what I've seen and done. Some things, we wouldn't believe it anyway. But there's lots out there that maybe we should believe in.
Well, folks, Allan Keats is here with us. He's just shared a little inkling. 13 minutes of heaven, I would say. It's so exciting to be here and listen to someone who wants to go to the moon. Maybe he'll end up on Mars with Elon Musk. I don't know. But it's been a pleasure, Allan. Thank you for joining us on Gale Force Winds.
Thank you.